Hi there. Welcome to Tech Talk Weekly. What can ancient doodles tell us about what we're doing today? If you haven't paid attention to our show before, this is our weekly episode where we gather 3 or 4 interesting tech stories in the news, find you something fun about the library, send you on your way in about 20 minutes. As always, if there's a story you'd like us to cover, Creation Station at Broward.org comes right to me. Today, I have Miss Johanne Lugo,
It's okay.
on on the show with me today. Joanne is the voice of Broward County Libraries for a lot of people because whenever you try and get into here, she is the admin assistant. What's the official title, Joanne?
So I'm the administrative assistant to the assistant director and director.
Okay, there we go. She is the person who answers all of my emails, who has to go through everything for all of the stuff whenever we have to do anything in library administration. So this is why we have people on. Tell people what your day actually consists of, Joanne.
Wow, there's no like one day that's the same as another. So it varies. It's from customer service issues to dealing with employees or doing whatever's asked of me from the director. So it varies.
And murder mysteries.
And murder mysteries, Craftapalooza.
Exactly. See, all the fun things. Joanne is one of those people in the background that nobody ever meets that makes the system actually work and how we can all communicate with each other. And speaking of that, that was not a bad little segue for our first story, I guess, of figuring out how to find everything around here. Because did you know centipedes don't have eyes?
I actually didn't know that until I read the article you
Yeah,
sent me. I was like, wow, I had no idea.
neither did I. I just figured they did. I figured they're like those, those cave fish and bats and things like that. That they have eyes. They just are pretty weak, or they don't use. Turns out they don't even have eyes at all, folks. By the way, this is one of the stories that someone sent in this week. So thank you for doing that for us. So one of the reasons this got sent into us was that centipedes use their various organs on their body, not their feet, but other sensors, to detect really minute temperature changes in the rocks and all the stuff around them. So, and here's the reason why everybody sent it to me. I had 2 different people send me this story this week. They verified their findings by creating small little tinfoil hats and putting it on top of the sensors for the centipedes and confused them, and they couldn't detect the heat.
That's
And
pretty cute.
yeah, people knew I would find that amusing. But so, what do you think about this idea of all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, there's proteins and stuff that are part of human bodies also, not just centipedes, that can detect light and detect heat and do all these things without our normal senses.
It's pretty incredible how we have, I mean, I'm pretty sure the centipedes aren't the only ones that don't have eyes and use like whatever we have in our bodies to
Yeah.
be able to sense heat. So it's very interesting to see all these different microorganisms and how I guess everything just comes together.
Yeah, I know. It was just crazy. I'm like, and now that you say that, I'm like, yeah, what's the next story that we're going to find where some creature that we all just thought, oh, well, we thought everything had ears, but look at this creature that, I'm like,
Right.
wow. Just wow. And of course, as always, all of the story links are in the chat for you, so you can go and follow these up on your own. But some of these documents are just I was just like blown away by and starting to go through all the different gene editing and all the things
Hmm.
that they do with these things to find. And it's one of those stories that is like, how much more do we still have to discover?
I'm pretty sure
It's
there's a lot more to
yeah.
go.
Yeah, and we've got so much more, and we need to save the environment to be able to do that and find it, which is our next story, saving the world one shirt at a time.
This was actually pretty cool.
Tell me.
I was in Georgia in November with my kids. We went to visit Georgia Tech, and I saw one of these things at the hotel where we were staying at. I had
Nice.
no idea what it was. And when I started, I didn't ask either because I didn't want to sound, like like I was lost. But now when I started reading your article, I was like, oh wow, that's what that was. And I even sent it to my kids and was like, look guys, this is what we saw over there.
Isn't it? That is
So
awesome. So basically what this is, you can see in the picture here, it is, what would you say about the size of a refrigerator?
yeah, just about like a vending, like a regular vending machine.
And you could put your clothes in, a pair of pants, a
Hmm.
shirt, I think you can do up to 2 items at a time,
Yeah,
and it's instant dry cleaning. It is pressing, it's taking care of all the stuff for you for cleaning, uses many fewer, chemicals, much less waste going into the environment and all this stuff. Would you I didn't know you had seen one of these, so tell me about what did you think the staff was doing around them? Since you didn't talk to the staff, what did you see anyone using or doing?
no, I didn't see anyone, but I did see there was a group of kids that were also visiting Georgia Tech, so they were like all standing around it and trying to figure out what it was. And I ended up just leaving because we had an appointment. But I it was interesting now that I see it. I'm like, oh wow, that's what that was. I could have actually told them had
Yeah.
I known before. But yeah, it's pretty
I
cool.
I was reading this, and I'm like, "This is great. This is gonna be really fast, simple, easy. I
Hmm.
wonder how much these are. I drop my clothes off at the dry cleaner every 2 weeks. Maybe I could save some money and do this at the house."
Right.
I don't know, vending machine size, I don't think my wife's gonna like having that in the house, um but I also wonder, what does the cleaning crew think about this? What does the laundry service at the hotel think about this?
I'm pretty sure they're not very happy with it because you're taking away jobs. But at the same time, you're also saving the environment. I mean, I
Yeah,
was reading here that it's up to 80% less in traditional
yeah,
dry cleaning, right?
yep,
And you save so much water and the toxins that go into our water system.
yeah.
It's
93% more ecological friendly than traditional dry cleaning and
That's
laundry
pretty
services.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy, and, is it which hotel? Holiday Inn. The Holiday Inn Express is trying to, expand this out to all of their hotel properties in the United States over the next
Mhm.
2 years, which is a fast rollout for something that, in a more traditional type of, environment, so,
Right.
yeah, I was like, "Wow, this is just cool." This is one of those little steps, it's like at home, don't use paper towels, use regular cloth napkins,
Right.
the stuff our parents used to do, and then we kinda got away from it, and now we're all going back into it. Have the nice linen napkins, and I've got a little stack on my dining room table, and I go through them, wash them, keep on
Yep.
going, keep on going. It's the way to, do our own little parts.
It's the way of the future.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then hopefully each of us doing our own small little parts forces the bigger companies and forces the Exxons of the world to actually get their act together,
Absolutely. I agree.
but we have another story. I have 2 stories that are very similar, that are pretty crazy in a way, of working in a library. I personally am not crazy about people writing in books. At least don't write in the library books, please.
Right. And no bunny ears either.
And no bunny ears and none of those things. But here is some writing that they found in manuscripts and books from centuries ago, and some of this is just coming to light because of different X-rays, MRIs, and other things that they've done to the documents to find other things, like to try and research how old is this paper, or where did this ink come from and stuff. And they stumble upon some of these other ideas. I kind of like the little knights fighting each other with the swords.
Cute.
I was like, okay, yeah, somebody's doing, and this is all done with somebody using an uninked, quill or a nail or whatever, just
Wow.
sharpened in and writing into the parchment, into the vellum, which is a special type of parchment made out of, sheepskin, and being able to create and build those things, and even just autograph your books. Practice your handwriting and do this.
Right.
You've got kids, did they write in their books?
When they were younger, they did. Yeah. It was I hated it because I tried I'm a very big I guess I'm big on books. So
Mhm.
I've saved all of their books from when they were younger. Rainbow
Nice.
Fish and Green
Oh,
Eggs
okay,
and Ham.
cool.
So I was always very adamant about them not writing in them. And yeah, now that they're older, they don't, but it's why I got them sketchbooks for them to
Uh-huh.
sketch in.
I tend to still write in mine, at least. But I do all ebooks, so it's just there. I mean,
Oh,
I've got the new Scribe that where you can write with a pen on it, and you can do your little doodles and
oh, that's
w
cool.
write notes and stuff to yourself and things like that. So, yeah, I'm getting back into the habit of writing in books, which is weird. Um, but then this here, this printing plate technology, some of the fine detail that they were able to accomplish 600, 700 years ago when they're etching these copper plates or different types of metals to create the effectively the stamps. The original printing press type stuff was carved wood, and then they quickly moved away from wood into metals so they would last longer.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, look at the detail on these things and all those tiny little ridges and all the tiny little spots in there to make up that top image of all of the little print like that. Someone went in and hand carved those out, or just doodling along everyday life. Here's the
Right?
hunting scene. This is what we were doing. This is what we did. You can almost picture some noble kid, teenager person that is just sketching something out at the bottom of
Right.
the letter or whatever. And I'm like, it's not a
Well,
bad
that's really
it's not
cool though.
yeah, you can easily see what they're trying to do. You can easily see it all. It's not like anything's changed. These are a bit harder. This is one of those documents that you don't even notice it until it's actually scanned. So you can't even find it just by ridges or anything like that. But you'll notice here's this drawing, here's the original document, here's the drawing somebody did that they enhanced it with the color to show it. And then you find here's the exact same document, but this other name buried underneath all of that. Just
Wow.
like pulling off those layers and layers. So, like last week, we talked about some of this archival stuff and how do we find out and what are we going to do with this? Because these are the amazing things. A piece of music no one has ever heard before because it
Wow.
just disappeared. It was just written and
Right.
disappeared, and they can't find any copy of anything like this anywhere. So it's just amazing, isn't it?
It truly is. Wow.
Just craziness. But there's more. Ha. Because we are now just finding out that Leonardo da Vinci was interested in gravity too. And
Oh,
he wrote, let's get rid of that extra video thing there. Here is a copy of his drawing, one of his little doodles that he made. And nobody figured out what it was until just recently when they said, oh, wait a minute. That looks like a mathematical formula in a way. And it's water pouring out of a jug and how the arc of gravity works as something's coming out because things don't go straight down, they curve out.
right.
And you can see here on the animation how it looks. And then he drew his little doodle almost perfectly with that
That
hundreds of
is really
years
cool stuff.
before Newton published all of his stuff about gravity and all we currently think about how gravity works and how all of that stuff goes. 15th and 16th century. Just doodles. Just, oh, hey,
Very, very cool.
do you have any doodles that you can share with us, Joanne?
I don't doodle.
No, not at all.
No, not really. No. Do you have doodles?
I tend to sketch a lot
Really?
with, yeah, with paper, without paper. I'll use a pen or a pencil and I'll just be drawing on the countertop or whatever and stuff like that. Usually I'll do it with a pen that's not extended, that is just the tip of the pen writing until I got the new thing and I can actually write and
That's awesome.
do little scribbles and all my things and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say your wife doesn't get mad you scribbling on the counter.
Yeah, I try very hard not to leave any marks. Um, let's not bring my mother's thoughts about when I was a little kid into this. But yeah, I I tend to be one of those. I'm a fairly creative person. I'm just always
That's good.
thinking, doing, talking, doing that. I always think better when I'm either talking to someone or writing or doing something hand. I don't actually write, but I find that I do a good job of if I'm just going by hand and just messing with stuff because my printing is horrible. No one wants to read my handwriting. Uh, but there is that.
That's cool though.
Yeah, it is. And you helped me get into this. It was a very nice, helpful segue there for Joanne.
Thank
For
you.
our last thing we got today is all about Creation Station music. So if you don't know about this, we have Creation Station music at the Collier City Library. Let me put up a link to their page here up on the arts calendar. If you go to artscalendar.com, if you're here in South Florida, we're hiring for Creation Station music. And we're looking for someone new for a part-time job. We've got a grant-funded position that we're out there exploring and trying to bring people in. We've got an open house next week. That's why I wanted to talk about it on the show today, that people can come out and get a feel for what it's like. If you haven't seen our space, it's a full-blown music studio, engineering booth, sound booth, everything, right in one of our local neighborhood libraries. It's booked a lot. We get audiobook authors coming in to record and things like that. And this is a chance for someone who's in college or just wants to contribute back to the community to come in and get paid for it and work with the local community to figure out how to be better musically. Whether that means I don't know, Joanne. I mean, if I think that you with your kids probably understand this as much as I do. It's like, what's the better thing, to teach them how to play a musical instrument or teach them how to do better TikTok videos?
Right, like things have changed so much now.
Yeah. I mean, I've got guitars and ukuleles and everything and pianos and everything there for people to use and play and create. I can get all sorts of musical stuff. And I'm just like, well, let's see what happens with this one. So if you're in the South Florida area, show up, come do. The job closes after next week. Still got about 2 weeks left to apply. Creation Station at Broward.org comes out to us to take care of that.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. Yeah. I'm going away on vacation for a couple of days, and then I'm going to come back and I get to hang out and meet some creative people and talk to them about what our space does and see who's interested in working with us. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's nice.
Thank you so much for being here, Miss Joanne. It was
Thank you
really
for
good
having
having you
me.
out here, especially I know I did spring this on you last minute this week, so thank you so much for the assist on this. Let me throw
Sure.
up our final slide. If there is anyone that you would like to see featured or library you'd like to see featured on the show, Creation Station at Broward.org comes right to us, and we'll try to get them on. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Have a great day, everyone.